What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Twin Wrestle Pod. You're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Today, Monday Night Raw is literally an hour and 20 minutes from the time of this recording. But we're going to go back to last week and we're going to talk about Black Friday. It struck again in WWE. And I'm not going to come up here and say I'm not surprised, because I'm really not surprised by most of the names, but this is an annual thing WWE do every year after WrestleMania. It's like a cleanup phase, right? And I found this so funny coming from a company. WWE nowadays, I would say within like the recent last, maybe the whole TKO regime, they starting to get hard to like watch at times and like just enjoy, because they taking the essence of what made pro wrestling in the stages that made it great not as great no more. With the whole blunder of WrestleMania, ad mania, if you will, for a company like to boaster as much about their numbers, as much about how much money they brought in, how much of the gate and records and shit like that, the records they setting for the gate or numbers or whatever. Much of this company like to brag about their numbers and how much they make and how much this is the record-breaking PLE. This is the largest PLE in Backlash history. But yet, you do roster cleanup. You make so much money. You do roster cleanups for your roster, pretty much, right? You like shredding extra weight, added weight off. Don't make sense to me, but I can't sit here and say I'm not surprised by most of the names. Most of the names irritated me, annoyed, and pissed me off. A couple in particular. But we're going to go down the list of the 23 cuts that I know of as of right now. So, if you made it through that long little intro, give it a thumbs up and let's get into this video. So, we're gonna start at the very bottom. Most of the people down here at the bottom are like NST products that maybe most of you guys don't know. They NST, LFG, and Evolve products. I don't know all of them, but I know a handful of them. Like Malik Blade, I know this guy. He was in NST. He like doing the launch of NST 2.0. He was tag teaming with Idris Enife, I believe his name was. I was actually surprised this guy lasted this long, to be honest. Once Idris Enife he left, I thought they was gonna release him too. I think Idris Enife probably been gone for like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years now. Because they were a tag team at NST. They was doing something with him. And boy, that word tag team is a long stretch in WWE now. The development of tag teams are long gone. They don't care about them. We'll get to that in this list. But Malik Blade has been released. You didn't really see that much of him. You saw him in the early stages of NXT 2.0. Carly Bright, I've never seen her, so I don't know who she is. But from here, she won a tryout back in 2022 in the summer. Don't know who she is. Luca Crucifino, never seen this guy here as well. Maybe he's a Evolve product. They say he entered the NXT Men's Breakout Tournament but fell short to Tavian Heights. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, never seen this guy. Maybe he's a part of the D'Angelo family, but don't know that guy. High Rise. I know these two guys. These two were a tag team at NXT. They had, I think the last time I seen these guys maybe might have been in the fall, if not early October, late September. I think they was having like a tag team tournament during NXT, to crown a new tag team champ. I think Dark State was in there. These guys were in there. So Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Eway, yeah, these two guys here, they really wasn't shown. I think the last time that they were shown maybe might have been like a battle royal, you think it's like a a brawl leading into like the NXT Battle Royal and shit like that. That's the last time I seen him. That had to be like early January. Dante Chien, obviously, we've seen him. I've seen him on NXT. I think they gave him quite a run early in the NXT 2.0 era, but not surprised there. This one was shocking because she was the winner of LFG, Olympic gold medalist, the Tokyo Games. And this begs to differ. What is the point of the LFG show if you're just going to get rid of your winners of that show? You know what I'm saying? I get the participants on the show, which we'll get to, but if the person wins the show, don't you try to put them in position to see? Because she was on NXT at a point in time. Don't you have to put them in positions to see how they are? Just like how Jasper Troy, I like how they doing Jasper Troy. He was the winner of LFG as well. But for her to be released is just very weird because she won the very first season. So that's fucking weird as fuck. But she's drawn. Tyra May Steele is drawn. Andre Chase. See, this guy right here, not surprising because once they broke up the whole Chase U University thing at NXT, not really surprised that he was drawn. Once Duke Hudson got released, and then Thea Hill just left the group, I was surprised this guy was still here. So this is not a surprising move for me at all. Santos Escobar is a very, very intriguing one. And let me say this, WB. Did y'all not learn a lesson from the Ridge Holland situation? Even though he didn't get injured on your TV, he get injured in a TNA taping. Why would you release these people when they are fucking hurt? Santos Escobar just got hurt in January at a AAA show in Reina de Reyes. Right? And the weird thing with the Santos Escobar situation is he let his contract lapse like he was a free agent. And WWE wanted to bring him back. Like they wanted to bring him back. Came back. They signed him at maybe a lucrative number. Who knows? Came back. Returned on AAA and been in AAA ever since. WB, this was just the guy WB had to get from their words, pretty much. And now we get to April. He get injured in January. We get to April. He's gone. A pretty fucked up situation. WB, you got to do better, man. Stop releasing these people when they hurt. It's crazy. Next up, Apollo Crews. Now, Apollo Crews, I'm surprised he lasted this long. It's been a very long time since they've done anything with Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews always had a great look. His biggest claim to fame, his biggest break in WWE was the Nigerian gimmick with the U.S. champ and Intercontinental champ. Had a match at WrestleMania. Biggest break. But I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did, man, because they didn't really do much with Apollo Crews. He was just a hand that was just there. Got hurt, I think, last year, tore his pec or whatever. And he just recently came back, maybe back in January, maybe. You've seen him with Matt Cardona doing backstage segments recently, and then, poof, Apollo Crews is gone. So this is not really surprising. I want to see what he do on the Indies. I can see him ending up in AEW for sure. AEW / Ring of Honor for sure. And get back the claim in the Uhaa Nation gimmick that he had before he got to WWE. So, I will not be surprised with that. Zoe Stark, another shitty situation. She exploded her knee May 19th, 2025 of Monday Night Raw. In that triple threat match with her, Kairi Sane, and it's funny I bring that name, and Rhea Ripley. As she went for that springboard drop kick on Kairi Sane, her knee twisted and everything just exploded. ACL, MCL, meniscus, and she was done the whole entire year. I'm pretty sure she was medically cleared now because that's the reports going around. Yeah, look, Fightful Select Stark recently received medical clearance to return to the ring. And that's fucked up that to be released her. I'm sure she had to be dealing. I mean, I followed her on her Twitter. She was showing progress and how she was doing, how stuff was coming with the knee, the progress and everything. So I'm pretty sure she was stoked to make her return to the ring, at least test the knee out, because there's a lot of mental hurdles going on with that. As a performer in any type of sport, you want to see if you can land on the knee the right way? Can you still move? Can you still cut? A little shit like that in physical capacity. And WWE didn't give her the opportunity. They just released her, which is a fucked up thing to do, man. This company sometimes, man. Best to different. Why do we cheer this company sometimes? Albert Fire. And my brother calling me. Hold on. Albert Fire was a part of the Secret Service. I love their gimmick in NXT at the NXT UK Women's Champ as Kylie Ray. They put her in a tag team with Isla Dawn, which was, give it credit, was a good tag team. I love their tag team. Because they had chemistry coming from NXT and into the main roster, but they really didn't give Kylie Ray like a chance for real. Like, granted, I know she's like super tight with Chelsea and Piper, so she probably was cool doing that gimmick, but her as Kylie Ray on the Indies will be big, so she's gonna have a lot of opportunities. Motor City Machine Guns. This is a pure hint of the WWE Tag Team division being dead. They signed with the company in 2024. Debuted, won the Tag Team Championships, I think, on their first night on SmackDown. I want to say it had to be against the MFTs at that point. It had to be. And they was in some pretty good feuds with DIY and the Street Profits and Fratium, killing it on SmackDown, killing it. Had that banger match at SummerSlam last year with those other teams I mentioned. Added Rey Fenix and Andrade, who's no longer there as well. But the SmackDown Tag Team division was literally carrying the show at points for the fall leading into, the next year. And they were left off WrestleMania, and then they came back in SummerSlam and proved why they should have been on WrestleMania. They had a lot of bangers, man. But the crowd wasn't really getting behind them because WWE didn't really have stories for the crowd to really care and invest in the Motor City Machine Guns. WWE fans are a mix of real wrestling fans and casuals. You got to get those casuals on your side, and the casuals who go there for WWE just to know what WWE is, they weren't behind the Motor City Machine Guns. So, they didn't really have no pops as much. And then it didn't help that they stripped the entire tag division on SmackDown. Ciampa left. The Street Profits were off TV. Fratium, they're in the back. And we got the tag team championships on the fucking MFT and the Wyatts. And now we have them on R-Truth and Damian Priest, who's not even a real tag team. They don't care about these tag teams, bro. Tag team division on both brands. The tag team division WWE fucking sucks. It's garbage. And it's getting worse. It's been like this for a couple years now, man. The whole SmackDown crop with the Motor City Machine Guns now kept the division afloat for these last few years. Or last few 18 months, if you will. WWE got to do better, man. But they just WWE show you who they really are. They don't give a fuck about the tag team division, among other things. So this wasn't quite shocking. The nail in their coffins was in the backstage segments with R-Truth and the rest of the cronies in the back. Trying to download the ESPN app and trying to get Johnny Gargano from getting on top of boxes and getting back to itself. Once they was in those segments, they were done. All right. Now, this one is one that pissed me off. We get into the pissed off level. Aleister Black is Zelina Vega. This pissed me off for a multitude of reasons. First, there was the report that came out after WrestleMania that Aleister Black was supposed to be the man in the Randy Orton angle. He's supposed to have a match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And then we get the angle that we eventually got at the end of WrestleMania Night 1 with Randy Orton punting Cody Rhodes to end Night 1. That was a far better story because it had legs going all the way back to January as opposed to the Pat McAfee stuff we got at WrestleMania. Because WWE just had the usher in celebrity appearances at your biggest show of the year. Instead of telling an actual story with actual credence into your main event scene that made actual fucking sense. Goes back to the Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn thing. Karrion Kross wanted Sammy to show people the real Sammy. Aleister Black and want Randy Orton to showcase the real Viper. Get in his head. Beat him at Mania, and eventually we lead to the heel turn of him turning on Cody Rhodes at the end of night one at WrestleMania. Stick with your guns. And I always say this. It goes back to the CM Punk Colt Cabana podcast. How would you know what you have in these people if you don't put them in a position to succeed? At least try. At least fucking try, man. Aleister Black beat Randy Orton. Had victory over Sami Zayn as well. Two of your top guys that you push every night on SmackDown. And yet he debuted, he came back, he returned a year last year and come back to this year and he's gone a year later. It's fucking crazy. And y'all were just doing a thing with him and Zelina being together. Give it legs to work, man. Give it some legs. Nope, they just rather cut the fucking guy. SmackDown need all the help it can get, bro. I hate people losing their jobs. Like, but there's a bunch of different people who could have lost their job besides Aleister Black and Zelina. Maybe it was a deal where they wanted to get rid of Zelina, and then Aleister Black was like, "No, I want to be my wife, so release me too." This fucking company, man, just pisses me off sometimes. They be doing stupid shit. They really do. Greed is going to be the death of this company one day. It really will. We have the Wyatt Sits. A not so shocking departure for me because they were feuding with the fucking MFTs going back to at least October. We're in April. They just lost to them the day before WrestleMania on WrestleMania SmackDown. After their debut they had in 2024? That debut was fucking phenomenal. The backstage segment, the way it was shot, the props, the crowd reaction, everything. You had to use these guys sporadically. They had some high points. Those vignettes they would shoot with the VHS style shots and shit like that. Very fucking cool. Very cool. But you had to know how to use this group. This wasn't meant to be a group that's gonna be like hold the championships for very long. Like, this should have been a group that pops up and all the evil things per se in WWE, they come through to cleanse it. So every evil group or something, they come to cleanse it. And just build on that. Have their scare factor, build on that. Could have done a multitude of things with this group. But as I say, you get yourself in trouble when you fantasy book because you put more effort in booking than WWE does on a regular when they actually have the hands to book these guys. But Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, all gone from WWE. Crazy, man. Very, very crazy. Last but not least, probably the most shocking name, Kairi Sane. Just because she was literally on the Monday. She was literally on this past Monday. Okay? And then the Monday before WrestleMania, she beat Io's guy. The thing that made this departure so stupid is she's literally been a part of this story pretty much all of last year coming into this year. Since Asuka returned. Instead of giving her the moment, instead of giving them the moment to share the ring at WrestleMania in a triple threat match, Kairi, Io, and Asuka, instead of giving them that match, that moment. I always said WrestleMania is about moments. It's not really about matches all the time. It's about moments you create. That could have been a big feather in Kairi's cap. A huge feather. We know she's not. We know she's not going to be in a one-on-one match for the World Championship. We know that. But her on a grand stage like that, sharing it with Io and Asuka, that means a lot to her. That could have been a huge feather in her cap. From coming from where she came from, get in NXT, get to the main roster, get cut, come back after her run in Japan, only to get cut yet again. It's just fucking stupid. And you see an outpouring of love and all this stuff for Kairi with the hashtags "We Want Kairi." and all her fellow co-workers showing their love for her. It's just crazy to me, man. It's just crazy the shit this company does. It blows me a fucking way. It does. For a company that claim they make as much money as they do, they like to boaster about their sales every time you turn around. The largest gate in history. They love to boaster about that shit. But yet you cutting these people off from their job. And I'm not shocked because it happens every year, but it's just a point of like some of this shit just don't be making sense. Kyrie, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, 3 to be named, that makes no fucking sense because they were currently on TV, currently used in storylines. So now I'm gonna tune into Raw to see how Io is. Where do they go with Io and Oscar? Where do they go? I'm a proponent of putting Julie on Monday Night Raw. Cause she just lost on Friday, so ain't no telling what that means for her. I feel like they're not done with cuts. I feel like they're crunching the numbers right now as we speak. More names to be released sometime midpoint of the week. It's like they had a deadline they have to reach. That Friday was like the first wave of cuts. This company, man, it's just fucking annoying. That's my 2 cents on this whole situation. It's annoying. It always is. Fuck WWE for doing this shit. Cause they just show you they don't really value most people, and it annoys me. It really does. This company is not the same. It's just not. Everything's about corporate greed for them. And the money. And the bolster of dollar. They don't care about most shit anymore. That's my 2 cents, man. I hope you guys enjoy Raw. If it's a decent show, it might not be a great show. It might not be a good show. Who gives a fuck? But that's Monday Night Raw, man. That's my thoughts on these cuts. Go enjoy Monday Night Raw. You made it to the end of the video. Give it a thumbs up down with a little comment. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, man.